bezpečí.
Jeden svět.
Mezinárodní festival dokumentárních filmů o lidských právech. 22. března
až 2. dubna po celém Česku.
www.jedensvět.cz Pořádá Člověk v tísni.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. I would like to apologize for starting with a delay, but it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you here today on behalf of the Institute of Documentary Film at the first edition of the KineDok conference titled How to Set Up a Screening Venue within the annual EastDoc platform program. For those of you who don't know KineDok yet, KineDok is a project of the Institute of Documentary Film. It is focused on the community-driven distribution of documentaries from Central and Eastern Europe region across all our partner countries. To this day, our partner countries are Czechia, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Croatia, and Georgia. And today you will have the possibility, the opportunity to meet some of our partners, some of our venue managers, because KineDok is organizing screenings of documentary films with accompanying program at alternative venues such as cafes or galleries or pubs or site-specific venues. And you will have a chance today to see the diversity of our cultural venues. And by organizing this conference, we wanted to give you a little bit of a teaser for a publication that we are now creating with our partners, which will focus on the topic how to set up a screening venue, and it will provide some tips and tricks of how to work with communities, how to organize a cultural event. So I hope you will enjoy today's program. And after each presentation, there will be a space for you to ask questions. So please use that. There will be a microphone running in the audience. So let's just ask for that. And without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker, who is Matej Sotník. Matej is a producer at Guča Films and co-founder and creative director of Film Expanded Distribution Company. He's the producer of Notes from Eremosine by the director Věra Čakáňová, which premiered at Berlinale in 2023. And he's currently producing Lucia Kašová's upcoming film, World of Walls. And as a distributor, he has brought to Slovakia more than 20 films that have been presented at international festivals such as Cannes or Rotterdam or Locarno. And Matej will provide insight into the production and distribution process of creative documentaries today. So Matej, the floor is yours. Please enjoy.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much to Institute of Documentary Film, KineDok, EastDoc platform, and all these labels for having me today. I'm glad that I can tell you a bit of one part of my work. of our work. I mean, yeah, I'm producing films also, but the reason why I'm here is more focused on distribution or creative distribution, or let's say distributing, curating. I hope this is not going to be disaster for you. So the umbrella activities of my work is the documentaries, creative documentaries, and also some sort of creative approach to distribution. In Slovakia, I run the distribution company Film Expanded that is mostly the theatrical distribution, but now more than ever we have to organize many events. Sometimes I prefer to call myself not a distributor but the event organizer, because the work of distributors, especially with the documentaries across the globe, pretty much changed. I mean, after pandemic, a lot, let's say. So our portfolio, Film Expanded, includes now like almost 30 films that were screened at big festivals, and then we try to somehow follow their trajectory, their path in the Slovak cinemas, and we try to think of distribution pretty much in connection with innovative marketing strategies that brings maybe few more people to the screenings, because now the films are still funded, which is great. Distribution is still funded, but it's so hard to actually bring viewers to the cinemas, and with VOD not so much better. So that's why we have to think of distribution very organically and very creative, and I mean it's fun, but it's a lot of work. And maybe just I briefly mentioned our other portfolio. We are also creating impact campaigns or designing impact campaigns. We are focused also on cycles, which is not the topic of this case study, but it can be another case study, how cycles are functioning very well actually within the training of the viewers. And we, for example, organized this Echoes of Ihlava, which take place in Bratislava, Nová Cvernovka, open air, and people really used to come every Monday during whole summer to watch films and to discuss, because the predominant projection on so-called alternative distribution is mostly like you have screening plus discussion, but not necessarily. I mean, you can situate the film in specific space, in specific conditions, and somehow follow with specific activity. And this is basically the case study I want to make. We're distributing documentaries, I mean, widely in many places, including for sure art house cinemas and multiplexes. This is still the dominant way how we distribute. But you have, I don't know, you have, for example, the film such as we distributed in the past. For example, the film The Sailor. That premiered at Hot Docs 2021, and it's film about the sailor in Caribbean, the old man who is somehow reflecting his extraordinary life on the ocean. It's a beautiful film, and 2021 I think we released it not so long after the world premiere in Slovakia. And we had, I would say, quite big amount of screenings, but only few of them were really like full of people. So you always have like you can have like many screenings, for example, with bigger title, let's say, even in the multiplexes, etc. But nowadays you really have to put special attention to, let's say, few and special energy, let's say, few screenings. But The Sailor is not the film I want to talk about. And we call ourselves distributors, curators, or because we only distribute 10 to 12 films per year, because we won't really dedicate us to each film, because those films deserve that. But it's hard, and since we don't have so many films during 1 year period, we can really like put special attention to them, and to think of distribution and marketing in new contexts, which we like. I mean, it's fun. It's connected with this also, because the way people want to watch docs today, I mean, I'm always surprised, because people want. I mean, me personally, I love to watch films with the proper sound, proper screening conditions, and maybe also the proper seats. So I like cinema, but I'm always surprised, and this is how it is basically, that people today, I mean, for sure you know, but wants to watch the films in very uncomfortable conditions. The site specifics in the forest, etc., because they somehow have this association that documentaries, if it's not these talking heads on Netflix or whatever, that this has to be something specific. Maybe I have to watch it in in the forest or at some industrial place. So we just have to follow this. In a way, I mean, and that's how it's really connected with. It's really important to connect the distribution strategy and the marketing strategy. I mean, they're always obviously together, but I mean connected. But the project, I mean the distributional project, as well as the film project, as well as the art piece project, I want to show you the connection with distribution and marketing strategy are even more maybe tactile. And I want to talk about the film of Barbara Sliepková, which is Slovak director. I want to talk about her debut, The Lines, that won Best Film Prize Opus Bonum Edihlava 2021. It's a black and white, very niche film, actually, I mean, about Bratislava, which can be interesting for a wider audience, but the form of the film is very artistic. It's really pretty much like black and white film essay inspired by urban symphonies, and it's really beautiful film that we were like invited even in the post-production of the film to kind of not really shape the film, but to think of how we're gonna release the film once the film is completed. And so it was really like I don't know, maybe a year before the actual world premiere. So it was really like long-term dialogue with the producer, with the director, and we were thinking, okay, like this is fucked up. It's pandemic. This is beautiful film. It was funded. It has to. I mean, we want to show it to so many people, as many people as possible, and we love the film. So we were thinking what to do with it, and we maybe watch the trailer for the film, and then I will tell you more about the strategy. Yeah. Okay.
Čuk, 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 čuk.
Zapínám, môžeme. Pozor na Bratislavu, hej?
Aj, môžem?
Jo.
Fortissimo.
Ten, kto povie, že dokáže žiť sám a nechýba mu partner, tá láska tak klame.
No.
Rovno to rob, rovno.
Mne sa to ľúbi ako hovado. Nové. Iné.
Chcete vodu nejakú? Si smedný, ne?
Podvihneme oči k nebu.
Nech sa páči, poďte ďalej. Okno, ktoré pustí do krásnej záhrady.
Takto si predstavujem mesto na mesiaci.
I just wanted to give you, sort of the taste of the film, so you can see it's. The trailer actually somehow presenting maybe something that you maybe consider as a more commercial or bigger film, but actually it's really a documentary essay. And it's about, as you may be as you were maybe able to taste from the teaser, it's about how we're navigating within the cities today that are really like massively developed in Eastern Europe, and how we actually navigating through the cities, let's say, and that's the motive with lines. I don't want to talk much about the film, but it's connected with the strategy, because we were thinking of what to do with this, because normally you can release it in the cinemas, and you will have in Slovakia approximately maybe 700 people, and that's it. And so we were thinking what to do, and we, as the film is really like artsy, let's say, we decided to so actually during the post-production, because we were involved in the process, we actually decided to produce or co-produce with the production company a new art piece. And so we started that has the same name, because it's important, and we were thinking of what it should be like, because we had this idea of sort of multimedia art piece, and we want to collaborate with kind of acclaimed or renowned artists that also will bring some new audiences. And we were thinking how to connect the film and how to connect this sort of site-specific event that actually includes the music, the partiture of Jonathan Pastyrczak, in the past Peony, now Isa Mazink, very famous experimental musician, and also we contacted the how to say, I'm sorry, Jan Šicko. He was he made the interesting objects with light designer. So yeah, we asked him to collaborate with us and to Jonathan, and they together somehow made I will show you this art piece that also called Lines. And we were thinking, when it's connected with lights, it was also intention to connect it with lights, because there is this huge festival called Biela Noc. I don't know, White Night, that sounds not so good. Yeah. Biela Noc, maybe you know, because it's international, so it probably has official title for the other countries. But it's this festival that really focuses on arts with lights, art pieces with light that are situated in the public space, so many people can experience them. So we asked the festival that has really wide audience. I mean the biggest, because since it is in the public space, people see it. I mean, many people coming from the eastern parts of Slovakia to Bratislava to see it. Then there is this Košice edition, but it's smaller, different. And so we actually started to producing this art piece that also we have to fundraise before, because it cost actually the money. But then because it was 2021 and really the COVID disaster, and so we started with this, which also was really like a huge process, the communication with artists, the designing the idea, the improving it, etc. And then actually Biela Noc happened, and many people came. Many people came, and we kind of teased the film because it has the same title. It had the same visual identity with the pink poster. And so we really like followed this through the whole process, and actually people came, and we didn't screen the film because it was before Jihlava, which where with the world premiere November, and we released it in not release it, but we teased it in September, I think 21, and there was this art piece that was in the loop. And it was in the space called Sklad 7, which is this kind of industrial space. And there was this second big room with the excerpts from the film, with the great music and people, and the way how this site specific was created in the space, in the environment, was like that. You actually experience this light / experimental music piece, and then you know that you have to go to the second room, and there is the teaser. I mean, there is this excerpt which was really good edited, and people were really interested. What is it? 2 minutes. Okay. I actually just okay. So this is basically what we did, and then when we released it in the cinemas, that was November 21, even worse. We didn't reach thousands of people, but we reach. We believe much more people than normally would come in that period, and people kind of knew of it. People knew of there are some lines. There is this film. There is this art piece. There is this really the campaign has many elements. The Jihlava came, the prize, which was also great. That really helps, and so altogether. Also, when the film was released online on Da Films, it really it's hard to to say how much it helped, because but we really believe that, in comparison with different films and by our experience, we think it somehow forced people to go to cinema more. And so, we repeat. Then we also work with this art piece more, and we travel with that across in Slovakia. So so this is this I wanted to present, and now I want to show you the sort of atmospheres from the event. It's without subtitles, but it's more like mood board or what. So it's the second video.
Tu naozaj ako keby sa to odvíjalo od rovnomenného filmu Čiary, že naozaj ako keby pre nás nejaký základný ten zdroj inšpirácie bol ten film, ktorý nám preddefinoval alebo zadefinoval v niečom, že aké to dielo bude. Bola to asi najkomplexnejšia vec, čo sa týka inštalácií, na akej som zatiaľ robil. Prvotná inšpirácia bolo to mesto. uvidíte aj v tom filme, tak tam je hrozne dôležité ako keby ten zvuk a ten soundtrack toho mesta, ktorý vzniká priamo. A práve vlastne to bola ako keby pre mňa inšpirácia aj v rámci tej partitúry.
Skôr ma zaujímalo ako keby mesto ako nejaký súbor vzťahov a nejakých štruktúr, nejakých ako keby dejov, ktoré sa odohrávajú nepretržite na rôznych miestach súčasne. A tá inštalácia možno, že čiastočne ako keby chce reagovať na toto, že my ako pozorovatelia môžeme k nej pristupovať z rôznych strán a sledovať vlastne to, čo sa odohráva v čase a skladáme si proste nejakú partitúru dokopy.
Posledné dni som sa prechádzala mestom a počúvala mesto a práve to je to, čo sa odráža na inštalácii teda Jana a Jonatána. Táto inštalácia je pre mňa to zmenšené mesto, v ktorom ja som si nejakým spôsobom nachádzala svoj rytmus, ktorý pochádzal aj z toho svetla, aj z tých objektov ako samotní, ktoré majú nejakú trajektóriu a je medzi nimi nejaký priestor. A zároveň aj z tých zvukov, ktoré sú teda vôkol neustále, ktoré neustále nejak vnímame. Čiže pre mňa je to také zastavenie sa v tých zvukoch a v tom priestore.
Myslím, že práve toto dielo to tak nejakým spôsobom doplňa a povyšuje ten samotný film. To ma na tom baví.
V spolupráci s Film Expanded, vďaka ktorým vlastne celá táto idea vznikla, že sme vyfiltrovali napokon takýto tvár, ale teda nielen spolu s Adamom a so Soťom, ale teda najmä s tým tvorivým tímom, ktorý priniesol tak krásne myšlienky a nápady. Mám pocit, že ten zážitok je ďaleko intenzívnejší a silnejší a myslím si, že aspoň z toho, ako som to vnímala ja, tak som mala pocit, že ľudia sú uhranutí, hej? Že vlastne zažili nejakú mágiu.
I'm sorry, we already fulfilled our time for this, so thank you so much for the presentation. If you want to comment on the video? No? Okay, so I think I will just ask one question because maybe the rest you can ask yourselves at lunch or later because we are delayed. Because this conference is about distribution and creative distribution, I would like to ask, what do you find the most challenging about your job, about this field?
Well, the most challenging is other people. I mean, the viewers to actually reach the audience. That's the most challenging. And nowadays, I must say, it's really. I think it's but it's a different topic. I would say, but it's challenging to fundraise the distribution nowadays, especially with the for agent films, international distributions. And funding bodies don't really understand this approach, this specific approach that is actually crucial for the films that were funded for development and production, and then they have to, be spread, and. I can use this, to Men in Black, okay, and then. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry that we don't have more time for the questions, but thank you so much for the presentation.
Okay. The film is on DA Films, so if you want to watch, you can watch. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, the next program is called Think Outside the Traditional Cinema Format, and it is a program that showcases successful stories by venue managers from all KineDok countries, and it will be presented in the PechaKucha format. Our first speaker is joining us online from Croatia. His name is Miro Frakić, and he worked as a program assistant at the International Festival of New Film in Split. He was a member of critics jury at 14th edition of the festival 25 FPS, and since 2021 he has been working as assistant of Dokukino Kic, which he will present right now. Okay, so after the presentation you will also have a moment to ask questions. Enjoy.
Okay, hi. Hopefully we can hear each other. I can't see my presentation yet. If you can't hear me, of course, just, I guess, shout.
We can hear you. Okay.
Okay. Give me a second as to get this timer thing going. I mean, as their colleague Ivana presented me, I am actually not a venue manager at Dokukino, but I'm assisting the venue manager who is currently busy with Zagreb Docs. Anyway, I'm here to present Dokukino. So it's a small cinema that's dedicated exclusively to screening documentary films. It was founded in 2009 and it's recently celebrated its 13th year anniversary. It's run by the non-profit association Restart, and this is focused on production, education, distribution, and screenings of socially engaged documentary films. Here in the presentation, you can see bits and pieces of a screening venue, or the venue where our screening space is located. It's a cultural information center in Zagreb. It includes 2 gallery spaces, a small bookshop, and a cafe bar, which of course serves as a great opportunity to screen films and includes certain events like exhibitions, discussion concerts, and so on. As you can see, it's a rather small cinema. It seats about 80 people, includes 1 screen. And there's a lot of the profile of the cinema is similar to the profile of the cultural center, in that there is an offering of a space for public debate on rather cultural, political, and social phenomena. So our regular screenings include documentary films, and they appeal to a lot of different age groups, as we can see in the pictures. From young people to older people, depending on the film. So we try to include, or we try to form the program depending on the current societal events. As you can see here, this is only from March, our March program, including different topics from gentrification, gender and sex equality, and so on. So the main goal, of course, is also to encourage a dialogue, not only using films, but also lively discussions, even masterclasses, anyway. And we do invite various experts from who, I don't know, in sociology, philosophy, ecology, anthropology, history, economy, and so on. So these are all pictures from our rather recent events. So it's not only film professionals. This is one of the projects that we are particularly fond of. It's when the venue closes in summertime. We actually move to its park pretty nearby, Ribnjak, and there's an organization that does Art Park Zagreb. And here it features a lot of live music, DJ sets, and of course, craft beer. There's even circus shows and many different events that are aimed at different, again, age groups, from younger ones to older individuals. So as you can see, we screen films here, and we even sometimes organize Q&As with different directors. So here we have a picture from our last summer with Tiha K. Gudac for The Wire. A bit about our other programs. Here's a sort of a list in Croatian, but as you can see, there's a lot of programs and collaborations we do, from Hall of Fame, where we screen the most prominent films. There's also a lot of collaboration we do with different events in Zagreb and with different film festivals. You can see here Zagreb Docs, Subversive Festival, and even Kulturna Infrastruktura Zajednica, which is primarily a discursive program involving discussions about this month. The gentrification is our main focus. So we do, as far as our other programs, we have educational workshops. Here we have also some pictures from different master classes. Such you could even see the renowned Davimo Grabi, even Marusia Siroyachowskaya, and her latest feature. This is actually, all of these pictures are quite recent. We're also very happy to collaborate with students as part of this latest endeavor, Dokukino Eter, where students actually organize the whole thing with our help and engage in a talk with the director. Here picture we can see Ivan Ramljak. So the part of our broader wish is to use this multi-purpose space of a Culture Information Center, or as we call it, Kic Zagreb, to include all sorts of audiences, but primarily we're trying to work a lot with attracting younger people, even schools and high school pupils or whatever, teens, so students, and we try to encourage their critical thinking, encourage them to participate in interactive discussions. So to teach them about media literacy, as we know, is never that well done within the school system, but we try to be the link here. I can see my presentation has gone. But anyway, it's one of these projects that we hope leads to greater media literacy among children, their way of thinking, and of course using documentary films as one of the is quite I'm not going to say easy thing to do, but it's in a sense it describes their the world around them, so it gives us a great position to discuss a lot of things. Okay, so thank you for my time, your time. That's it.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Now we have a couple of minutes for questions from the audience. Is there a question ready?
I'm not sure how well I presented because it's my first attempt at this PechaKucha format, but it's fun. It's fun.
Don't worry, it was great. It was very informative. There is a question.
Yeah, I have a question regarding the focus on young students. So how did you establish the connection to high school or even like elementary schools, and how did you get like such young students into your space?
Yeah, so it can usually, so there's different approaches to this. So either it's through some established programs, so where we collaborate with certain institutions that does this, but we even at some point we even tried contacting the schools and high schools directly. There's also a bit of a word of mouth. So if somebody did something with us, they will contact us or tell somebody else. We've even recently, when it was the Women's Day, we had a school reach out to us to show us their what is it? Jesus, I'm trying to, like a performance-based thing, and they were asking, oh, we're interested in reaching out. So it's a bit of a different things, but of course a lot of work goes into contacting them directly and trying to explain what's the kind of the idea. I'm not sure if I answered the question, but yeah, I think it's different things. So you have to be aware of if there are any projects and if there are because once you get it going, I think people start reaching out to you in a way. But yeah, it's not an easy task to do. It's not something that goes very easy.
Okay, thank you. Is there another question? Okay, it seems like there is one question. Okay.
Hello, I'm Sabi from Hungary, and I would like to ask you about that I've seen that you do a lot of cultural events, different kind of. Why documentaries? What is your experience with the documentaries in like to share with the people? What is the force in documentaries to organizing this kind of events?
As I said, I don't think I spent too much time explaining Restart, but Dokukino is a sort of under or organized by Restart, which is primarily a production company that deals with documentary films. So it's part of this, but it's also part of believing in the format and the way things are presented and the topics it broaches and the freshness. I mean, I'm not sure if I understood the question correctly, but the documentary format is very important to us in that we also do a lot of, so it's Restart, talking about production company, they do production of films, but also educational workshops, as we said, and they distribute a lot of films. So, of course, KineDok is here a perfect fit for us, as it usually also includes open, free screenings, including we always try to couple it with discussions after the films, so that our viewers get that sort of an additional element to the documentary format. And I think it's in a way it's natural for this documentary format to be followed by some sort of a discussion where we can even talk about the way the documentary format is used or manipulated or used for its artistic. So it's not only socially engaged things that we do, but we try to always give an additional element to it. I hope I answered it.
Thank you so much.
Question.
We fulfilled our time for the questions. So thank you again for the presentation and good luck with your activities.
Yes, thank you very much for hosting me.
Our next speaker is also going to be joining us from online from Slovakia. Zuzana Hrušková is an artist who works across documentary and conceptual photography, film, video, and writing, and she will be presenting Galéria Ľudovíta Fullu, the Slovak National Gallery in Ružomberok. So the floor is yours, Zuzana.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm sending you warm greetings from the region of Lipto, which lies in the heart of Slovakia. It's part of the northern Slovakia, centered on the way from Bratislava to Košice, so we're halfway through. And it's very good to be somewhere in the middle because people take the train from Bratislava to get to Košice and they pop by. Our gallery was established in 1969. And it belonged to the very important and very prestigious artist called Ľudovít Fullu, and it's a state-run gallery. So we run this gallery we have lots of programs, and the cinema Kino Fullu is the format that we started in 2017, and I myself an artist and a person who is interested in the movies and documentaries. We actually, isn't it going too fast? We actually work with some well-established artists. On the left, you can see the musical composer, the one in the white suit who produces film music. And on the right, there was a conceptual composer and we document our events, and we archive our movies, our documentaries. The public that we work with varies from the youngsters to the teenagers to the elders. I think it's going really too fast, my presentation, isn't it? It's supposed to be 20 seconds per slide.
We timed it ourselves. It's 20 seconds. It seems fast, but it's the right time.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So anyway, the documentaries that we screen, we started to work with the KineDok, I think in 2017-18, where we were very privileged to work with you, because we didn't have finances to run our cinema, and because we are a state institution, you know, those of you who work for state institution, there is never enough money. So we didn't have to fundraise. We could concentrate on artistic part of the documentaries, on the social political aspects. And our aim of cinema is to change people. It's very simple. Slovakia is going down the hill in terms of the neo-Nazism and fascism, and we feel we are obliged to do something about it. And here on the picture, for example, you see we invite mothers to take their children in the gallery, because mothers can be, we can be very frustrated if we don't have the space to see the film, knowing that our children cannot go anywhere. So we raise youngsters into young individuals. These are children who were raised in our gallery. I picked up this picture because they were regular visitors, regular participants in our programs. So these youngsters spread information in a small community. We are a community of 27,000 people. It's a skiing resort. You know, so we use the way we approach communities is we talk. We distribute posters in our small town. We work with information centers, and we talk to directors directly, whose films we are screening. We not only screen, this is Lucia Kašová, for example, this is the way she lives. It's not about only that we screen the movies, the documentaries. We follow the lives of the directors of creative team, because we are artistic institution, we present art. So we considered being as important to follow the life of the artist, the filmmaker. It's equal than presenting the movie, the product of the director. This is our living room in a brutalistic, in the retro style. We have a pre-discussions before screenings in this living room, because it's such a special space. It's designed in a 70s style. This is Zuzana Piusi having coffee with us and preparing ourselves for talk when we screened her movie Očista. And this movie is directly dealing with the local community that comes from this town, which was unfairly treated by the mafia, by the incorrectly run state, and especially by one paper mill director. This paper mill is here in this region. So we work with the locals and listen to their points. They can talk about their frustrations after the movie. This is the screenshot from the talk and screenings by one amazing 92-year-old amateur filmmaker and beekeeper. We work with amateurs. It's important to work with amateur filmmakers, because they are very much unrepresented very often, and so we give space to them. And so this is the new initiative that I created, the archive or online archive of amateur films. This slide comes from the location of one of the movies. It was the movie that we screened. It's called The Cathedral. It's about one man who was excluded by the church, and he was so much dedicated to the God that he for 60 years he's been building this cathedral. So, and this is one of the viewers of the movie on the picture on the left who decided to travel to the location to visit the place. So we actually don't work with the masses of people. We work with individuals. And there were screenings where we only had one visitor, and we decided we're not going to be depressed about it. We're going to use that one visitor to spread the word, and it does work. And on latest screenings, we had more people, you know. So it's important not to give up, even if we don't have finances, don't have top technology to screen. There's always something you can do about it, and it's important to stay in the picture and not to stay quiet. And this is what alternative distribution, alternative documentaries allow us to do. The alternative documentaries should be part of the primary school educations, where they teach youngsters to critically think. You know, I mean, I could go on and on and on. So it's about being able to change the society. It's about giving locals space to express themselves, and it's about not being fearful. It's about not staying quiet, and I could go on and on and on.
Thank you so much. It is a very important message. Thank you for the presentation. Yes, please, an applause. And now we have time for the questions. Is there a question ready? I might actually have a question myself, because you described very interesting process how you work with the individuals, with the filmmakers, and with the films. So how do you select the films? Is it by the topic that goes with the exhibitions in your gallery, or what is the selection process for you?
Well, it doesn't correspond with the exhibitions. Well, at the moment, this month program does correspond. We have a theme of powerful women in art. So it's like a fishing, you know, you have to really be in the picture and work with what has just been produced, what is new out there. And yes, it's about being in the picture and educating yourself. But we communicate, for example, with KineDok, we use guys, we're communicating on regular basis. We call each other. It's about picking up that phone call and say, hey, what have you got on offer? Or sending an email and then call back, and don't let it stay in your drawer, you know, pull it out and talk about it. Make it loud. And we are very privileged to work with KineDok because we don't, as I said, we don't have to fundraise. It takes so much time to fundraise, to screen to build a program and to do it professionally. And you are providing us, you producers and the company runners, you provide us with more space, more resources to concentrate on actual preparation, you know. So, and but we are in touch. We follow what is happening in Bratislava, what's happening in Prague, what's happening internationally, what's happening in Kino Usmev in Košice. So it's about being in a picture. And at the moment, I heard some names like Pioni. We are showing a panoramatic projection called Light Cube at the moment in our upstairs exposition, where we work with the same artist as Matej Sotník. So Pioni and Jano Šicko, yeah, and so this world in Slovakia is very small, and there's only a small group of us who know each other, and let's stay in touch. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I think that we fulfilled our time for the questions. So thank you again for joining us today from the online world, and good luck with your activities at the gallery.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So the next speaker is going to be present here physically, and it is Veronika Hanáková, who is a graduate of film studies and new media at Charles University in Prague, and in the past she has collaborated with film festivals such as Jihlava or queer film festival Mezipatra, and she will be presenting here today Kampus Hybernská. So
Exactly.
the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. So I will just stop here. So as you can already heard, I will present Kampus Hybernská, which is placed in the city center, and as the name suggests, campus is place for meeting, sharing new ideas, meeting with your colleagues or friend. And if you want to visit, it's just around the corner, to be honest. It's around like 400 meters from here, so if you have time, please do it. You're more than welcome to visit there. And as I have mentioned, campus is place for meeting. As you can see, is literally place where you can meet with your classmates, colleagues, friends, and develop your own idea. But also the institution, campus, tries to promote coming up with new questions, new sort of feedback, and so on. And how we do it? Well, actually, campus is one big institution in which you can find Hyforcity, which is technological center, Didaktikon, education center, and students clubs. And the Kampus Hybernská is sort of like the main organization behind it. And as you can see, like, it seems like too much going on, isn't it? It's also quite huge space. So there's high chance that there will be lectures going at the same time. There will be a lot of programs. And now imagine that beside like the technological workshops and education workshops, there is also culture program. So, hectic, isn't it? And I will focus on the culture program because I'm coming from the culture department, so I know most about our sort of aims and goals, what we do. And in the culture department, there's actually sort of 5 subgroups, as I will call it: theater, music, art, literature, and film. And each section has its own day in the week. What does it mean? Well, from the perspective of film, we have Monday. So every Monday from September to June, we have to produce event. We have to do something in the space that we have. And when we started, we sort of realized, okay, how we can do like film club or film-related event in the city center of Prague, where it's like too much like cinema theater, how we can be sort of different that they are. Is there any like kick how to sort of think about like film dramaturgy from different perspective? Well, we decided that we do not want to be sort of your typical film club with just like screenings of new films, of art house films, and we sort of decided to take a step, maybe not really back, but a step to rather different direction. And we decided to sort of focus on the film in current digital dispositives. And what does it mean? Well, it means that we sort of want to focus on digital audiovisual culture as a whole, in which film plays crucial role, but we also wanted to give space to another medium, to another art, such as, for example, video games. But we also want to reflect the audiovisual culture that you can find online, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and so on. And also reflect like watching films on different screens, such as your mobile screen, but also laptop, or also watching in a cinema house. And now, because it was quite abstract, we will go to specific cultural cycle that we sort of developed in last year or so. And I will always tell you what we're doing and why we decided to go in this direction. Well, sort of the first event that we produce, it's called Gameplay. And it focuses on video games in Czech Republic, because there is quite a huge community regarding video games, and not only professionals, but also amateurs, players, and so on. So we decided to give space, artists, producers, and so on, to sort of explain what they are doing, but also to connect with audience that want to play games, but also want to create games, want to participate in game jams and so on. So they need sort of know-how, how to do it, what software to use, how to sort of be present in the video games industry. The second cycle is focusing on culture phenomenon that we might not think about as culture phenomenon. For example, soccer. Yeah, because soccer is a very huge phenomenon, especially in Europe, and we wanted to be able to speak about it, but how to speak about it. So we decided to invite young academics who present from theoretical stance. However, they have to use accessible language, no academic jargon, to sort of connect with the audience that is present and maybe give them words how to speak about huge visual problem. The third cycle is we want to give space to not really young filmmakers, but maybe newbie filmmakers. And what does it mean? This means not only to filmmakers from FAMU or ABU, but maybe who decided to create films in his or her 50s. And it's quite hard to actually start doing film if you're like older. So we decided, because you don't have school to support you. So we decided to sort of come up with this idea and to give such artists space, but also maybe different audience that they have in their social bubble, that they have at schools. And the fourth cycle is actually our cooperation with KineDok, because we sort of cycle back to film screening, even though like film screening plays around like 30% of our program or so. And why we decided to sort of start collaboration with KineDok was that we want to maybe sit down and focus on film and really watch it together as community, and then also ask questions. And for this particular reason, like KineDok is very suitable for our space, for our community, because the documentary films, they always have something in it to speak about it, to ask, to maybe have debate. Even dialogues, like monologues are okay, but yeah, dialogues are always better. And I feel this is the end of my presentation. And if you have time, I will be more than happy to see you. As you can see, we have lovely coffee place there. And yeah, thank you so much for your attention and your time. And if you have any question, I'm here to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Is there a question?
It's always hard to ask.
I will maybe start with the first question then. Since you are organizing a lot of activities and for like a different or like a variety target groups, I want to ask you, like, what is your PR strategy, or how do you communicate the program? How do you find the groups? Is it, yeah.
Yeah, like for the for each individual cycle, we have a little bit different audience, as you already stated. So we collaborate with our PR team to sort of find like not only like online like networks and paths how to approach them, but we also try, for example, in terms of video games, we participated in advance in different video games events to sort of be part of the community, to see what is missing there, and to sort of give the space for the aspect that is missing, which means like individual presentation of each artist.
Okay, thank you. Is there a question from the audience? I can't see you very well, so I will stand here. No? Okay. I guess it was very informative and self-sufficient. Thank you so much for the presentation. We will continue the discussion later.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is joining us also presently from Hungary. It's Levente Szilágyi, and he runs Kinodomino, the creative team of enthusiasts who organize KineDok screenings in Miskolc. So please take it away.
Is this the spot? Good. So hello everyone, my name is Levente Szilágyi. Everybody calls me Levi, so feel free. I'm from Miskolc, and I'm here to talk about how we do pop-up documentary screenings in alternative venues in my town. I would like to give you a short personal background and then a story of our team, Kinodomino, and yeah, some examples. My affair with documentaries comes from the University of Miskolc, where I studied cultural anthropology, and I translated a lot of documentaries of other students. And this actually kept this habit after university, and I have worked with most of the documentary and other film festivals in Hungary as a translator. and other individual productions as well over the years. Actually, I saw hundreds of documentaries from second to second as a translator over several times, and I learned a lot through them. And I was privileged, I felt privileged to have the chance to see all this beauty and informative stuff, thought-provoking things. But I was also kind of disappointed that other people can't see these. That's why I joined the Hungarian Kinodomino crew as a translator and a venue manager, which is not the right word for us because we don't have a specific venue to screen films at. Basically, Kinodomino works as a roving theater. We have screenings from the cellar to the roof in Miskolc. We have had actually screenings in the wine cellars and in the famous lookout tower of Miskolc, on the top of the city. Yes, actually it started 8 years ago, and it was a one-man show for the first 2 years. Then it got a name, and another 2 years later we became a team, and now we work as a registered NGO in Hungary to be able to get more funds. That's easy. The name, I usually say when the dominoes slide together, it means that when a lot of different actors put their energy together, their efforts together, and in collaboration make something really good happen, successful event happen. And this is why the name. The team is Lili, Réka, Dani, and Bence. These are my guys. They joined my quest 4 years ago. We've got a photographer, a project manager and fundraiser, a logistics manager, and a graphic designer. And basically, a lot of things changed since they joined us. Our digital representation became more professional. We came up with a new logo. You can see the old one and the new one as well here. And this helped us to build trust in our audience and make them believe that we are meaning something good. In the very beginning, we screened on bed sheets, really, and on walls. And then later on, my mom helped us out with a new canvas. She made it from an old curtain. And yeah, it was a great improvement, but a lot of hassle to fix on. And 2 years ago came the breakthrough in technology. We won some funds from Civic Europe and some learning opportunities. And that's how we could buy our gear, and we learned a lot about building communities. We actually used the money quite well, and we could, from them, create professional posters and all kinds of flyers and stickers. We could pay performers, unique musicians, and actually guest speakers, which was a great improvement, a great add to our screenings. Yeah. Now we are an acknowledged team in the city, and this year we have the honor to work with Cinefest, which is a local film festival, and with Versio as well. So it's going to be a great year for us because the country will learn about Kinodomino. We like to select our venues and the side events according to the films, if possible, and this is how we managed to have a screening in the woods, basically. We were screening The Time of Trees, and we had a hike in the mountains, a thematic hike in the mountains before the screening. Then later on, we work with other NGOs in the city. The local climate warriors gave us a space and some very good organic food and a great guest speaker for the screening of I Am Greta. Then the local gallery gave us a great space to screen A Descent to the Maelstrom, and we had a professional reading of the Edgar Allan Poe novel, which the film is based on, and we had a discussion with local artists about their experiences with inspiration. Some films do not require any discussions, but a party or some music after it, and that's how Echo and Mexico was followed by a thematic dance party, and this was one of our most popular events with over 100 viewers. Then we sometimes add creative stuff to the screenings. Taming the Garden was introduced by an audio collage made by our friend Wanted Sound, and for lines we have heard about the film before. We made some photo collage within the team, and there is always room for improvement. We like to learn from every screening, but it's a lot of fun, and basically it's a great opportunity to bring people together around documentaries in the city. And thank you very much for your time. Please ask questions. Probably this is going to happen now.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Again, my question to you, the audience. Any questions? Maybe I will start with a first question. Since you are always having the events at like different venues, how do you also engage with the audience? Like, is it always the same people that come for the screenings, or does it differ according to the space or to maybe to the topic of the film?
Well, choosing different venues also hides the opportunity to connect different groups of people. So the venues have their own audience, we have our own audience, and the guest speakers sometimes attract their own audience, and this is how actually we put together, like dominoing again.
Thank you. Okay, there's a question, and then to you.
Okay, hello. Nice to hear about this presentation. Thank you. So I have a question about this meeting point of view. How I see you are some group of people who plan this, and where do you plan? Where do you have your office, or it's just temporary place, or because it's always interesting?
Pubs. Yeah, so
Pubs?
basically, we have that's the drinking time as well. We have a pub where we usually meet. We don't have any venues.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Okay, there was another question in the.
First of all, congratulations. My question is related with my colleague question. Actually, this is a full-time job. You have other job besides this. You do it for fun, for like a hobby, or it's a self-sustained organization and you are paid for this?
It is a very self-sustained organization. It's a full-time job, but I have 2 other jobs. So I make 36 hours of a day usually. So it's out of enthusiasm and the want to share these films and information with people and make them, make them aware of the world a little bit better through documentaries.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. Okay, in the back.
Thank you. I have a question about the advertisement, because I guess if you meet with a group of people, there isn't always the same group. So how do you advertise in? I heard about flyers, but I guess that's not the way of meeting everybody.
Yeah, well, social media is which we don't like to 100%, but Facebook is the first surface because it's free. We can use it, and we can actually reach a lot of people. But the word of mouth also works a lot. It's not a big city, about 160,000 people, so we can talk to everyone basically. No, but yeah, Facebook, and it helps us to monitor the age groups who visit us, and they can give us feedback. So it's kind of a very well used platform.
Okay, thank you. And so there is a group of specific age group, or like there is younger people, and either the older one, or
it's a big mix. But I have seen the statistics made by this social media platform, and the most of our viewers are between 30 and 50. But there are quite a few younger people, and more young people come because they start to understand how much fun it is. And people are afraid of documentaries because, yes, they are not, I don't know. So, yeah, they are afraid of them, but we try to make them not to be so much afraid.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. We fulfilled our time for the questions, so you can continue discussion at the lunch.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much for the presentation. And our next speaker is joining us from Romania. Her name is Ada-Simona Biris, and she is a curator, museum educator at the Museum of Visual Art of Galati in Romania. And with more than 20 years of experience in museum work and in organizing museum events, she had her first collaboration with One World Romania Association in 2013, organizing the project One World on Tour at the museum. And since 2015, she has organized the KineDok project in the city of Galati. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. So, as Ivana told you, I'm a curator and a museum educator, and I've been organizing, besides KineDok, film festivals, exhibitions, shows, different kind of performances, but here we are. The Museum of Visual Art, as you can see in the left part, it was our former building. It was founded in 1967 in a former episcopal palace, and the church took it back, unfortunately. So in 2013, we had to move in the other building. Now they are building us a new museum. This is one. And it looks spectacular, as you can see. And it will have 4 levels of exhibition halls. We'll have finally a good screening hall. Okay, about the collections of the museum. We can show them our collections in the world. And as you can see, we've been around the world a lot. With our, I have to say that we haven't, maybe our artists are not well known here, but they are well known in Romania. Here we have this restoration laboratory, of course. This is our colleague who's giving to the art pieces a new life. You can see on the left there was this broken piece of art in ceramics, and he restored it. We have a lot of other, besides exhibiting art, we have a lot of activities. We have ballet shows, classical or modern dance. We have jazz concerts. We have a lot of other activities for kids. It's not our first experience, KineDok. We've been organizing another film festivals, like, Cine Polska screenings. The Polish films are very well received by our public, I have to say. We had also other documentaries, like British documentaries. And here we are. In 2015, we began this adventure, KineDok. You can see Andrea, my colleague. This is when we met, actually, in 2015. And this is the very first screening. So, even if we organized other film festivals or screenings, the public was not used to these Q&A sessions. They were very shy in the beginning. When we first told them that, okay, you're free to ask, you should be a part of our discussions, they were really shy. And, this kind of, should I ask? Maybe someone would say that I'm not very smart. But now they are asking a lot. So, you can see we had different professions, and we had the opportunity to host a lot of directors. You can see Andrea Culková, I hope it's okay, I don't know. Czech Republic, she came with her film Sugar Blues in 2015, and Tatiana Božić from Croatia, also in 2015. Ivana Hučíková from Slovakia, she came in 2016, and again Klara Tasovská and Lukáš Kokiš, sorry for my pronunciation, and Bernadette Uzariter with her film A Woman Captured in 2019. And here are the Romanian directors, Monica Lăzurean-Gorgan, with 2 films. She came in 2017 and 2022, and actually she's a member, as you can see, of the Academy. She's one of the members of the jury who are giving the Oscars. Okay, and besides the directors, again, we have Alexandru Solomon, who is actually the president of One World Romania Festival. I don't know, there are... only me, I can see okay, they were kind of... Okay, and here we can see also the protagonists. Upstairs you can see it's a lady, even if she doesn't look like a boxer lady, Steluța Duță, and on the older guy is her manager and trainer. Okay, also we had a collaboration in an Erasmus project with Czech Republic, and these students came in Galati and in our museum, and they were part of screening a Czech film, King's Gate. Okay, about the challenges, as you can see there, actually someone went to the police and said, "Oh, there were minors in the hall, in the room, and the language was obscene." So I had to go with the lawyer or the police and to explain what's KineDok about. That come on. Also, we had concerts. I usually invite people related to the subject with the topic of the film. So we had 2 films regarding music. So we had some concerts and some jam sessions after the screenings. And people, we are a small community now. There were people telling that there was a certain film or a certain guest that changed his life, like it was a psychiatrist, the guest was a psychiatrist, and he searched for this psychiatrist and he was better. Well, you can see this is our community, even a dog. And as you can see, I really hope that this journey will last. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Now we have a couple of minutes for the questions again.
It's also my first PechaKucha, and it won't. I usually speak a lot, and
great
it was
job.
Really difficult to try to keep up with it.
I maybe have a similar question that I asked before, but I'm really interested in this. How do you program the films? Like, how do you select them? Is there a specific day in the week that you have the screenings, how the audience?
Every Thursday. So now people are. I don't select the films. I usually screen every film so now Andrea told me that there are maybe 13 films this year, so I'll screen them all, so I don't select anything. And we have for this last 8 years we've been screening every Thursday at 6:00 p.m. So this is we only change it if a director would come, and he only or she can only come on Wednesday, let's say. So we will switch it. But other than that, only Thursdays at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there a question from the audience? Oh, in the back, yes. By the way, you have a beautiful venue about to be built. The building looked really
Well,
super impressive.
This one is not so. I mean, you know, we had. I don't know if you've read there. We have like almost 6,000 pieces, and in this new space, we can only exhibit like 200, which is frustrating. But hopefully, the new museum will be, I don't know, in 1 year or 2 years, maybe.
Good luck.
Yeah,
There's
thanks.
a question in the back. No question. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So you said that you don't select the films; you screen every film.
Yeah.
This is a big thing because what we do select. Some of the films we know that won't work well in our community, but you are brave. Have you ever thought of this? Or you mentioned there were some problems with the police, with the obscene language. Have you ever had any other experience that would be a throwback?
Bad experience? No. It was the only one, but let's say I'm a brave person and I don't get scared so easily. So I kept up doing what I do, and even if maybe the public won't be so numerous, I don't care if there is at least one person interested, or that film could touch him, or could, I don't know, help him or her in some way. It's good. So.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, and good luck with your activities. Okay, the last speaker presenting here today comes from Georgia. Her name is Anna Barjadze, and she is a co-founder and member of Gori Photographers Club, which is a non-entrepreneurial legal entity based on voluntary membership, whose main goal is to promote the development of art in Gori. She is also a co-founder and member of XELI, which is a network of organization and people advocating revitalization of abandoned cinema houses and cultural spaces in the regions of Georgia. So please welcome, and the floor is yours.
Hello, I'm Anna. So I will tell you shortly about this art house from 2013 until 2020. Initiative group included me and my friends, decided to make art house, but it was at first kind of unimaginable things. Then we found out that there was something on our town, and as a filmmaker, I discovered the local people didn't know actually about documentary films, and they thought that only BBC and Discovery had documentary films, and it was kind of filmmaker as a documentary maker was kind of funny for them, so I decided to change it. So we discovered this place. It was kind of abandoned and very dirty, kind of non-official toilet. And despite of it that it was in the city center, it was kind of locked place, and we cleaned it by our hands. And it was very hard point. And during this moment, like in the middle part, there was a kind of financing program, infrastructure renovation by European Union and local government. So they found, like they saw our effort, and they decided to accept our and gave us for free rent. So now it's an art house, and since 2022 it is possible to have everybody from locals and also guests to have some social life, and it made a lot of changes because now a lot of people are more involved in films. We had a lot of different activities because of it that it's hard to start from first kind of creative documentary documentary. We made a public speech by several Georgian people, and at the end we had the kind of documentary films, and that were including in different activities. Also, we had a collaboration with a local band, for example, jazz band, and with different kind of documentary films as a soundtrack was doing a kind of a local jazz band, and a lot of different activities with including documentaries. So by watching of documentary film with which was made by Georgian street artist Lamb, it was kind of inspiration for our students and our young friends, and they made underground these kind of street arts. So I put this mark, like a word mark about opportunities, because by watching documentary films, audience become more kind of freer and can realize what is happening around the world, and also it's kind of inspiration because real stories are more kind of inspiration for us. It's my favorite screening because it's our kind of garden yard, and this statue is a kind of symbol in our town, and we had a collaboration with the Odessa Film Festival, and it was a screening about a previous farm. It was very emotional, but somehow kind of changes. Also, this is a collaboration with KineDok. First screening, we decided to have a permanent screening every Sunday. It was like exactly every Sunday at 6, and we found out that there was a kind of things that we posted on a Facebook group. We have our community Facebook group where we made post pools, and they could choose their own favorite films. So it was kind of winners meetings. How you see, there are all girls, and they chose the 3 diva. But about kind of spreading information, social media is the best platform, like Facebook, and also we shared separately every event on stories and put kind of countdown stickers, so they have alarms there. About audience, mostly we have teenagers, because we are doing different activities and including kind of including film screening. Even they didn't know what kind of screening like a film was at the event, but they were on Sundays there. About lines, we had a kind of guest who was from Slovakia, Bratislava, and he shared his kind of experience connected to this town and to the city and architect. So it was a very important part. We have several changes, mostly about, for example, disabled people. We don't have enough kind of equipment and special movies for them. Also, it's very hard to invite old people, despite of it that there is not any social activities. This was like a crowded screening time in the garden, because it was during this time when it was kind of abandoned in Georgia because of some political issues, but still we had decided to screen it. Also, we are trying to have a Q&A sessions after this kind of screening, because it's more important to have some kind of changes from the audience, because we have to realize what they get and what they want. Most important is to including during a screening process, like filmmakers and the group people who are interesting there, because they somehow believe it and they somehow trust us to have a kind of high quality screenings there. Thank you. You can follow us everywhere. You can subscribe, and I'm looking forward to have some collaboration also. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Now is the time for you to ask questions. Yes, there is a question.
Hello, thank you for the nice presentation, and I would like to ask you, because I think it's quite special, like you have teenagers mainly among your audience, and what is your experience with the teenagers? Before, Simona said that it was very hard at the start to become like a conversation, to open the mouth, to have a strong debates, or to think critically. What is your how you see the teenagers in Georgia on these films? How they talk about, how they open up?
Okay, thank you for this question. I think it's we trying to work in different medium, not only film screenings. We have different exhibitions, some kind of comic residency, also collaboration with kind of local and national artists and international also. So I think we don't really have a kind of debates or questioning them. They by attending different events, also experienced by international experience, they could realize this what's going on around the world in modern art or in like a film industry. So I think this we are not like a teachers, or we don't try to like ask them to develop, or somehow they do it kind of themselves by attending all the activities, and somehow we have a kind of experience how several initiative groups, teenagers for example, came to us and asked, we want to make some kind of art magazine about local photographers and artists, and could you help us? It was kind of very natural way. We don't have any kind of instructions about it. If I am a fool.
Yes, thank you. Is there another question? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you to all the speakers. The program will continue at 2:30 in the afternoon if you want to join us for the rest of the conference, and otherwise enjoy the rest of EaseDoc platform, and I will see you around. Thank you so much.